Hi, everybody. How are you today? This is Wendy coming to you for the weekly Wednesday update. And I'm coming to you today from the middle school English classroom because today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about teaching and learning and kind of what to expect in the next few years. You're going to hear in the news and kind of out and about this term learning loss. And I kind of want to address that and share some resources that we'll be using as a school to help guide our thinking for students and what they need over the next few years. So we're going to have a link to this article that I have pulled up right now that I'm sharing by Ron Berger. So he's somebody who influences the work that we do at Chico Country Day quite a bit. He works for EL Education, but has also written some really great books as well. And I can link to some of his literature as well. But this article, I'm just going to read a couple of pieces from it so you kind of see where our thinking is. And then I would really encourage you to read it as well. We'll be talking about it as a staff today at our staff meeting. So he talks about how just our kids are not broken, right? And in this first paragraph, what's really interesting, he says, I am concerned about how this growing narrative of loss will affect our students emotionally and academically. Research shows a direct connection between a student's mindset and academic success. He goes on to say, they will be viewed as deficient, and the inequities in place before and during the pandemic will be further amplified. Children, having been told they are behind, will internalize the story of their loss. A little bit further on in the article, schools should also recognize their students' resilience over the past year, support their healing and emotional growth, and honor them with meaningful and challenging academic work, not with remedial classes. That's how we'll get our children back on track. And I wanted to highlight that for you now, because I do think you're going to hear a lot in the news about this idea of learning loss. But our kids are not broken. They are resilient. We're going to take a strengths-based approach to moving forward. You won't see that our second graders in third grade will be repeating second grade content. They're going to move on to third grade. You'll see more in this article about what some approaches are educationally of how this might look. But we will attend to the social emotional needs of the kids and continue to honor them with meaningful and challenging work. And our students are going to be really doing well. All right, and shifting gears, I did want to talk just a little bit about the survey that was sent to 4th and 8th grade families and the possibility of expanding cohorts. So we'll be talking about that this evening at the board meeting at 5 p.m. The link is on our website. And so this is just a quick snapshot of who responded to the survey. Thank you so much. There are a lot of complexities that we're managing with the pandemic and with school right now. And so, the questions reflect the complexities that we're managing, and we really appreciate your time in doing that survey. And of course, surveys help us gather lots of voices. So just like we would in a classroom, some students are really comfortable raising their hand and speaking up in class, and some need a little bit quieter process time or would prefer to write things down and things or have a one-on-one conversation. So we try to collect information from our community in lots of different ways. You will be seeing more surveys in relationship to the LCAP and things like that. So we do really value your input on surveys because it helps us hear all of the voices. So just a couple of quick things that we'll share more this evening at the board meeting if you're able to attend. But just looking at the possibility of extending the cohorts and expanding those. So, just finding out from families, the schedule as it is, or, adjusting this schedule and how things look for next year. And then the responses too about having 31 students in class and filling the rooms to capacity. There are about 30% of families who responded who have some concerns about that. And, we asked about the risk, if it's a reasonable risk at this point. Increasing our cohort size does increase the number of students who would need to quarantine if there is a COVID exposure. So the way that works from the health department is that we follow that California Department of Health guideline of 3-foot spacing. But if there is a positive case on campus, students who are within 6 feet of that student will need to be on quarantine. So we'll talk about more of the details this evening, but I did want to share a bit more of kind of that holistic view of, what the 4th through 8th grade family said on this most current survey. So again, thank you all for taking some time to listen to the video. We really appreciate it. I will link for sure that article in the Atlantic so you can read it in more detail. It's really, really fantastic. And I'll keep adding resources similar to that to the e-flyers and things as well. Because I think we have a 3 to 4 year long project ahead of us of how we can support students and, how we can look at the strengths they've developed in this past year and continue to grow from that point. So we really appreciate you, and looking forward to seeing you on campus Thursday and Friday this week, or Monday and Tuesday next week. And thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.